I did not think that I would be sitting here making a video about my yarn dyeing business ever, but here I am. Pick up the needles, pick up the hook, pick up the acid dyes and the bare yarn bases, whatever. I think it's an art form that this generation needs to be a part of. Hi guys, and welcome to the channel for Millennial Yarn. I'm Ellie, I'm the owner of Millennial Yarn, and it is a small business that I created to sell hand-dyed yarn, yarn craft accessories for all the knitters, crocheters, weavers. However, we are also so much more than that. I have very high hopes for this channel and the community that we can create together. Before I get into what Millennial Yarn is as far as a business, I really want to cover some other topics so that you can get to know what Millennial Yarn is all about, what I'm all about. I want to start with why I'm starting this channel. It's so important to connect with your customers, especially when you have a sort of business where you're doing custom made creations, or simply if you have valuable knowledge that you can share with the yarn craft world, the dyeing world, the knitting world, crocheting world, whatever. This is a platform for us all to teach each other, for me to teach you what I know, and for you to teach me what you know, because we don't all know everything. It's important that we, learn from each other and stick together. The other reason why I'm doing this is because in our name is millennial. It's Millennial Yarn because I'm a millennial, and I feel like in the yarn craft community we are represented to a certain extent, but I feel like not enough to where people our age want to really delve into the community. Such a huge and incredible community that I feel like it needs to be shared with this generation. And by doing this, then maybe you could connect with people on a different level as well. Because I know that there are plenty of people out there who are looking for a hobby or looking for something to do either when they're not at work or when they're not worrying about the pandemic / the state of the world / just regular everyday life. I feel like there's plenty of other people my age and in that generational category that want to know how to knit for so many different reasons, want to know how to crochet because their grandmother used to make the granny square blankets for them, or whatever the personal attachment is. There's an attachment to yarn that we can all form through different crafts, and it's important to know and to be exposed and to figure out if it's your thing or not. I did not think that I would be sitting here making a video about my yarn dyeing business ever, but here I am. And you never know, maybe you could find yourself in this position one day, or maybe you could find yourself creating knit garments or crochet accessories or weaving tapestries, or could be anything, but the possibilities are endless, and it's truly just such an important craft to share with the world. I've been so inspired by so many people in this community, and I mean, even some of you sitting here watching it, I've probably read your comments in, Facebook groups, YouTube comments, whatever, and I've probably learned something from you. So I hope that I can take the knowledge that I've learned from the knitting community that I've become a part of and from the dyeing community that I've become a part of, and kind of translate that to you, my viewers. So yeah, that's what Millennial Yarn is all about. So really, this channel is going to be about providing a community for all types of knitters, crocheters, weavers, anyone who's interested in fiber arts. If you even just like looking at yarn because it's beautiful, and I'm not gonna lie, I would be that person had I skipped knitting and gone straight to dyeing. However, I did start knitting first. But whatever your interest level, whatever your skill level, I guarantee you that there will be something interesting for you on here, or something you can learn, or something you can teach other people. I picked up knitting again when I was in college. I was taught when I was young, probably when I was like 7 years old I started, but you drop off and you pick up and you drop off as you get older. And I found when I really fell into knitting was when I was in college as a nursing student. If you can believe it, yes, I found time to somehow learn how to knit. And I made some really cool stuff. And it's not just for old ladies, it is for everyone. Because guess what? When you're living in Canada, in the Arctic, and it's negative 40 degrees out, it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman or a millennial or a boomer or a zoomer or whatever you are, you gotta know how to stay warm. And if you can take a bundle of yarn and turn it into a gorgeous blanket, that's a skill that it's priceless. I fell in love with my local yarn store, and I realized that their selection is obviously very different from my local Michael's or Joann's or AC Moore or whatever craft store you have locally. It's not the same, which is where I really, the seed was planted that there were yarns that were specifically made for people for their projects. You have local hand dyed yarn, even if it's not local, it could be from across the world, but it's still hand dyed. It's unique only to that very one skein of yarn, even in a dye lot. You know what I mean? There's so many different techniques to dye yarn. There's so many different ways. There's so many different colors. There's so many different bases. It really opens your eyes to the world of yarn. It's pretty incredible how unique and how beautiful and amazing people can make yarn. And then they take the yarn and they make an even more gorgeous masterpiece out of it. And that's really where the passion lies. So I'm hoping that I can share that with you. I think it's an art form that this generation needs to be a part of. We gotta be a part of it, guys. We gotta keep it going. So I want to tell you guys a little bit about myself, and kind of how this channel and this business came to be. I am actually a registered nurse. I was born and raised in Massachusetts, and from there I moved to Plymouth, New Hampshire to study nursing. Go Plymouth State Panthers. I miss you all, class of 2018 nurses. I miss you so much. And from there, I moved to Connecticut, where I pursued nursing. I worked in a cardiac ICU for a little bit. I worked on a med-surg floor for a little bit. And now I do some home health here and there while I focus on the channel and the business. So this has become a big part of my life. It's really important to me, and I hope that I can have a positive impact on people, whether it be people in the nursing community, whether it be people in the fiber community, whether it be people who are just millennials. I don't care. If I'm making a positive impact on you, then I've done my job. Pick up the needles, pick up the hook, pick up the acid dyes and the berry yarn bases, whatever. You will find a passion. Just be careful, because once you start to love yarn, it becomes an addiction. I'm serious. So I'm going to show you a few colorways that I have. They're really beautiful. They aren't like super duper, like all of my yarn is special to me. So these ones aren't like super extra special. I just think that they're a good example of what I have and the kind of colors and things that I can create. I'll start off with one of the most exciting ones to make for me. It was a real breakthrough when it came to speckling with dye. And someday I'll, go over all the different techniques and stuff if you're not familiar with the lingo. So this is a bulky yarn. It's called Eclectic, and it is speckled with dye stock. So yeah, this one, it's pretty popular. People love the speckles these days, and I can't say I don't get why. I love speckles, but truly, they do require a lot of TLC while you're making them. They do. Um, which just makes them even more special. So the next one I'll show you it has a really cool story. It is made by a local alpaca farm. So they go ahead and they shear their alpaca and they send that fiber off to a mill, which is also local in Connecticut, where my business is located. And then they spin it into a yarn, send it back to the farm, and then the farm sells it, which is where I got it from. 10 minutes down the road. It's so awesome. The little lady that I got this from, and I mean the alpaca, not the woman, her name was Sarita. This is very soft. I didn't get to meet her because this is being recorded and happening during the pandemic, so I didn't really get to tour the farm or anything, but you can bet I will be touring as soon as it is open for that again. But for now, I can attest to the fact that she must be a real soft alpaca because this yarn is gorgeous, soft, took dye really well. The colorway is called Habitat because of the earthy tones. I actually didn't intend for it to look like this. When I dyed it a solid color and then I speckled over it. And when I speckled over it, it broke into different colors of dye. So this was like a really cool moment. It was just a really cool moment. So, yeah, there's Habitat. It's 90% Sarita, which is the alpaca lady. And 10% Cormo, which is a type of wool. So next up, we have another chunky weight yarn. And this one is exciting for me because the yarn base is one that I'm going to be using to make our novice beginner knit kits. Yes. And the reason why I'm choosing to use this base particularly for a few reasons actually. One, it's chunky, it knits up fast. Any beginner who sees results quickly is going to have an incentive to continue. The other reason is because this yarn is ethically sourced. To anyone would obviously mean ethically sourced. It's got to mean that wherever it comes from, whatever animal it comes from, they're safe, they're taken care of, and what have you. So I looked a little bit more into that, and there actually is a method called mulesing. And I'm not going to get too in depth into it right now, but what I can tell you is that it's a really inhumane way of keeping livestock healthy in order to reap the benefits of shearing their wool and creating yarn out of it. So this is a mulesing free base. It is ethically sourced. All of my bases will be transitioned to ethically sourced mulesing free yarns and bases. Unfortunately, I can't say that for the entire store right now because when I first started dyeing yarn, I didn't have that education. I didn't do that research, unfortunately, until after I'd already started dyeing yarn. So I researched, I educated myself, and this is the decision that I am making now as a business owner and as a millennial. because guess what? I care about this world. But anyway, this colorway is called Sunflower Patch for obvious reasons. It's really beautiful. You can see the gold, you know, some green and some brown and some oranges in there. So yeah, this is the last one I'm going to show you in this video, other than everything that you see behind me, because all of that is also my hand-dyed yarn creations. So if you see something you like, hop on over to Millennial Yarn and it will be there. It is called Gunmetal Ballet, and it is a self-striping sock yarn. So self-striping yarn is actually a very involved process. And I will show you guys how I do it in another video, because I think that if you saw the process, you would totally appreciate all of the hand-dyed self-striping yarn that you own or you have used in the past. So yeah, this is my self-striping sock yarn. This is 100% wool base. I also have 100% merino wool in sock / fingering weight, if you're interested in that. And I recently just dyed some self-striping yarn that is part solid and part speckled, and it is beautiful. Not to toot my own horn, but it came out better than I expected, which is usually what happens, honestly, and I'm not complaining about that at all. But a lot of times my vision comes out differently, but it's either just as good or better. Okay, so moving on, the next thing that I have in my shop that I make myself is handmade stitch markers. Now, whether you're a beginner or not, stitch markers are an important accessory to knitting and crocheting. When you're using a pattern, you use them to mark certain places so you don't lose your place. These are for crocheters and knitters alike, because I have both lobster clasp stitch markers and jump ring stitch markers. And jump ring stitch markers can't be used for crocheting most of the time. I don't know, maybe there's some times when they can be used, but I would say that they're generally used more in knitting, and the lobster claws are generally used more in crochet. So here is a set of one of my favorite lobster claw ones. It is a little teapot set, which is like totally not helping abolish the stereotype of an old grandma and her kitties and, you know, her knitting. But whatever, that sounds great to me. Here is an up close look. Yeah, there we go. They're really beautiful and delicate. They're glass beads. And yeah, I was really excited about this one. Another lobster clasp one. This one's really fun. They come in little organza bags when you order them. I love this one. So this one is another lobster claw, so primarily crocheting, but also knitting. And it's little, like, drink flutes. There's a martini glass, a wine glass, champagne flute, and it's on lobster clasps, as you can see. So those are also crochet, just so that you can kind of see the difference in between the lobster clasps and between the jump rings. I'm going to show you some jump ring ones as well. This is a set of 3 that I have on the shop. It's called Classy because it is super cute and classy and almost like very Cape Cod, you know what I mean? I was born and raised in Mass, and if you were too, then you know what I mean when I say it's very Cape Cod. I'll show you a couple of those actually, because it was my inspiration for some of them. Alright, so here's this one called Classy. Very pretty. It's hard to focus the camera on them. There we go. Yeah, those are really beautiful. And see, those are the jump rings that I was telling you about that are mostly used for knitting projects. What do they keep called? If you know me personally at all, you already know what my favorite animal is. And it's not a cat. It's not a household animal. So if you're one of my friends, you should have gotten it by now. And if you haven't, I'm disappointed in you. In handmade businesses, you have to find ways to infuse yourself into your product. And anyone who knows me knows how much I love seahorses. So this is just perfect for my shop. And hopefully it's perfect for you. So this is one. So cute. OMG. Look at those. Yes. So these stitch markers are also on jump rings. And it's named I Will Be Knitting, which is cute AF. So the next one I'm going to show you actually is available both with lobster clasp for crochet and for knitting. However, for knitting, it's available for like super bulky, like blanket pattern type things, because these are heavier charms and they fit perfectly over US size 50 knitting needles. But if you're making like a cabled blanket out of really chunky yarn that you're using US 50 needles for, and you don't have stitch markers, then this is the place to go. Here is what they look like, and this is the lobster clasp version. And these are called Grim. They're really cool. It's so funny. You can kind of see my halo light in their eyes. But yeah, so those are called Grim. And these ones are the crochet ones. And I also have, like I said, the US 50 size ones. So on top of all the handmade things in my shop, I also have accessories like knitting needles, crochet hooks. I sell a hand like knitting loom machine type deal if you don't knit or crochet yet, but you want to kind of get a feel for yarn and just what it feels like to complete an object. Go ahead, log on and grab one of those hand knitting machines and a skein of yarn, and just go to town, figure out what it feels like to have a finished object that you made. The other thing that I want to let you know, as viewers and potential customers to Millennial Yarn, is that I also do custom orders. Whatever size base you want, whatever fiber you want, whatever colors you want, whatever technique you want, however in depth or vague you want to be with what you want, I do a custom order for you however you'd like it. I actually have my first custom order for yarn. It's going to be on a medium worsted Aran base, and I don't know, maybe I'll film me doing it just so I don't have any dyeing videos up yet. So if you are interested in seeing something like that, maybe give me a thumbs up or a comment and let me know that you're interested in seeing how I'm going to do this custom order, because I will be eventually posting different techniques and ways that I like to dye and, that type of thing. So yeah, custom made yarn, custom made stitch markers, whatever it is, just reach out to me. I am one person. I am a small business. I'm here to satisfy your needs as a customer. So whatever you want, whatever you're looking for, just shoot me a message and I'll be more than happy to work out something that can, really help inspire your creativity. Another big thing that's going to be coming up in the future of Millennial Yarn and Millennial Yarn's YouTube channel and whatever else Millennial Yarn becomes a part of, is that soon I will be launching a couple different knit kits. And these knit kits are going to be for people who do not have experience knitting. people who do have experience knitting, but they need a little bit extra attention with certain steps like casting on, the knit stitch, the purl stitch, whatever it may be. It's really going to be aimed to teach you how to knit, and also we'll have a pattern for you to follow that will be very easy to follow along with, and hand dyed quality yarn, which is probably going to get you hooked to hand dyed yarn. And I hate to tell you this, but I don't feel bad because you are going to love it. Okay, so if you stuck through this video long enough, then you have arrived to the most exciting part, which is the giveaway. Yeah, a giveaway. Essentially, you're going to be getting a knit kit, okay? So you're going to be receiving a unique hand-dyed skein of yarn from Millennial Yarn, as well as a pattern that matches the skill level as well as the craft, and you'll also get the appropriate sized hook or needles for the project. So basically, you're getting everything you need to create something for free. I need you to do a couple things before I can just give away my quality products. So what I'm asking you to do is like this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I would love for you to comment what your favorite colors are, what kind of pattern you would be interested in making out of a skein of yarn, what is your skill level, anything about you. Just comment and just mention, hey, this is for the giveaway, and I'll enter you in the giveaway. And next week, I'll let you know who the winner is. And it could be you. You could have a whole knit kit. Okay, guys, so thanks for watching my video. I am Ellie with Millennial Yarn. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know that you're interested in that giveaway so that I can enter you for a free knit kit with yarn, a pattern, and the tools you need to make the pattern. If you are interested in a discount from Millennial Yarn, this month of July I am doing 20% off of your order if you are a member. So you go to millennialyarn.com, scroll all the way down to the bottom, see a little subscribe bar, put your little email in there and click, and you will be offered whatever discount it is that month that I am sending out to members. This month it just happens to be the 20% off your order, which is a pretty good deal. So even if you aren't looking to purchase anything right now, it still is a good idea to get on the list if you're looking down the line, whether you're interested in potentially getting a kit when they come out, or maybe you know somebody who likes to knit or crochet or weave, and you want to come back for Christmas time and see what kind of deals we have in the month of December. If you're like me, that's when you'll do your Christmas shopping. I know some of you are good and you do it in like August, but it ain't happening. I am on Facebook at Millennial Yarn. I'm on Instagram at Millennial Yarn. And I'm on YouTube, as you can see right here, right now, Millennial Yarn. Alright, so this is Ellie. I hope you enjoyed my video, and I hope to see you on the channel, on Facebook, wherever. Go forth and create.